Falcon fans, Falcon Nation, welcome to Dirty Fanatics United. If this is your first time tuning in to DFU, hit that subscribe button, leave a like, and definitely come with the comments in the comment section. Falcon fans, this is episode 139. We are on the road to 1K. We are right there at that 500 mark. Falcon fans, hit that subscribe button, hashtag DFU in the comment section to be entered for the chance to win your own throwback Wart Dunn jersey. Courtesy of my guy Mega Biff down here on the right hand of your screen. It's your boy C Money, Philip, aka Avitz, my guy Robert, aka Mega Biff. Falcon fans, we are bringing it to you tonight, live and in action. Philip, what's going on before we get to the Falcon talk? We have a draft. I said it, a draft in 6 days, Falcon fans. Philip, what's going on, man? The hype is real. We are here talking Falcon football. Philip, what's going on?
I am hyped as well. You know, besides the draft coming up, it's going to be a fun weekend for me. Despite, Easter, that's always hype going on, man. Get to see y'all, like family, everything, man. Just, and for the right reasons, But other than that, I'm kind of excited for tomorrow night and Sunday night. We got WrestleMania coming up. I'm going to be eating over here, there, everywhere. Hell, I'm going to eat all. Okay. If you know, you know. Okay, if you know, you know. But yeah, I'm excited. This upcoming draft, which we're going to be in the house, so that's going to be fun. So
absolutely,
that's going to be fun. I'm excited to see what we do and what it turns out to be. And I'm going to be there for it.
Falcon fans, for those that did not know, DFU will be in the building for the draft night live coverage. We will be in the building. Shout out to Rick and shout out to Cody for also getting those tickets through. Cody Keeler is here talking Falcon football on the podcast. Falcon fans, hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe. Cody, we are just giving our welcomes to the podcast. As I stated to Philip, we have a big, big week ahead of us, Cody. Your team changes forever. Six days from now, your Atlanta Falcons add a new member to be that franchise player that you hope to draft in the first round. Cody, what's going on, man? Glad to have you here tonight. Glad you was able to swing through and talk some Falcon football. Cody, what's going on, man? How you been?
Doing good, man. Hey, it really helps if I hit enter studio so you guys know I'm sitting there. I've been sitting there for 5-7 minutes sitting there. I'm like, and then I hear the only way that I knew was I heard it go off in the living room with the wife watching. I was like, are they live? I was going to say, but it's good to be here to talk Dirty Bird football with y'all boys. Yeah. Man, it's been that kind of week, man. It has just been that kind of week. But no, doing good, man. I'm super excited for Thursday, looking to see how the franchise changes and what they decide to do. Do they do what they should do and go get that edge rusher and hopefully Mike Green, or do they do what our team has done and surprises everybody in that first round?
Good job.
Yep. Absolutely, Cody. Once again, glad to have you here tonight. Robert, Mega Biff, what's going on, brother? Glad to have you here. I know you have been going through some big surgeries there over on your end. Glad to have you here tonight talking Falcon football. Robert, I know you won't be able to rock it out with us in the bins, but I know you will be with us shortly after we make that selection because DFU will be live in the bins, and Robert will be live at his home studio. Falcon fans, hit that like button. Robert, what's going on, man? Glad to have you here tonight, brother.
It's good to be back on the show. Good to be talking Dirty Bird football with you guys. It's been a pretty hectic last week or so. Had one surgery on my right eye, got part of that cleared up. The next one's this upcoming Wednesday. And, of course, last week I had to miss the last podcast. Christy's grandfather passed away, so we had to go down to Texas for the funeral. And even though with the circumstances, it was still a decent trip and, just glad to be home and looking forward to Thursday night in the draft. Can't wait to see what we do.
Absolutely. It is going to be a fun time in the bins, Falcon fans. If you're at the bins and you want to link up with DFU, please do so Thursday night in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. DFU will be coming at you live with a live podcast. All three, we will miss Robert and Rick. Both guys are having surgery this week, so shout out to Robert and Rick. Prayers up to those guys. But for the guys that are in the bins, DFU, 3 of the crew members will be there. Me, myself, Philip, and Cody. So you guys swing through for an interview. We'd like to see who you guys think the Falcons could select at 15. Do the Falcons trade back? And that's pretty much what this whole podcast is about. Is about what the Atlanta Falcons could be after Thursday night. And even a little bit before Thursday night, if things were to take shape. Falcon fans, there has been rumors. Real quick, shout out to Amno in the chat. What he says, yo, Abnell, appreciate the check-in, brother. Hit that like button, tag a friend, and hashtag DFU to be entered for the chance to win that throwback Wart Dunn jersey here. Shout out to my guy Robert for that. Falcon fans, there has been rumors circulating about the Falcons secondary could be getting an upgrade. A guy that has very, very close ties with a certain head coach in Atlanta, Raheem Morris. Jalen Ramsey linked to Atlanta as one of the potential favorite landing spots. Philip, Cody, Robert, this is a huge move if you make this move before draft night, because not only are you making a trade, but what do you trade to Miami for a guy like Jalen Ramsey on the vet side of his contract years? Cody, Philip, the answer is on the table. Y'all fill it out, and then I'll come back with a closing statement on Jalen Ramsey. Philip, the stage is yours.
So the question is, what will we trade for them?
Would you trade, and what would you trade to add a Jalen Ramsey? Because, listen, you still have a Will Johnson floating on that board there. You still have a Malachi Starks that could fill in at safety because of the Justin Simmons void. There's a lot that could happen in this draft. So it's really, how are the Falcons keying in on this draft prospect? Are they looking for that edge, like Cody mentioned? Are they looking for that big defensive tackle? Are the Falcons looking for an offensive tackle from Texas? That has been rumors circulating around the board the past 2 weeks. The Falcons could potentially, who knows, I'm not calling it, but the Falcons could potentially take an offensive tackle in the first round of the NFL draft. So my thing is, what is on that top board of the Atlanta Falcons draft room? What is that best player available? Who is that? And we have a lot more to talk about that. But Philip, before we dive into the draft prospects, Jalen Ramsey to Atlanta, would you pull the trigger, and what are you letting walk for Jalen Ramsey?
Okay. I say if we did make a trade, hypothetically we make a trade, I'm not going to give something that's too high, you know what I'm saying, like, or too low of a pick, you know. We're not going to go in the first, second round, obviously. I would think around maybe a fourth or fifth round pick, in my opinion. This is a guy that he's been solid, but he isn't the same guy that he was back in 2017.
Right.
He's been solid, don't get me wrong. He's a guy that can get things done. He can do it, you know, and he's got that confidence in him. Yeah, some people, like we say, we see him being cocky, but he's got that confidence in him that could bring some leadership to guys over in Atlanta. Like, you know, it could just boost up AJ's more, give him more confidence than he already has.
Do you remember the years, that 1 year when you had Jeff Okudah and he was playing
right
at that top tier level that Okudah has always been known for in college, but could never get past the injury bug? So Real played a lot comfortable with another top tier cornerback on that right side, as you mentioned. I mean, Jalen Ramsey and a AJ Terrell with a young Richie Grant that did return. Richie Grant was cut. My bad. I didn't mean to say Richie. I mean a young D. Alford that did return at nickel.
That's crazy.
And then also a guy that's coming back from injury last year, DeMarco Hellams, that I was looking for to make a very, very big impact last season before the injury in the preseason game. Cody, that question bounces over to you, brother. Jalen Ramsey. Philip, are you good on that subject, or you want to continue on with Jalen Ramsey?
No, you go ahead. Like I said, you know, it's a type of guy that can bring some good energy here. I mean, you know, despite him, you know, having certain things like a mouth, but he's never had any controversy in the locker room. So, you know, it is what it is. I would send either a fourth or fifth round pick for it to bring him over here. Other than that, he can walk.
Cody, if the Miami Dolphins are not biting on a fourth round pick or a fifth round pick for Jalen Ramsey, what is that top tier that you are looking to trade for Jalen Ramsey? If that is a move you're willing to make, are you comfortable with sitting back and maybe saying, hey, there's a young talent that we can get in their prime in this draft, like as we know, Will Johnson, a guy that we talked about months prior to all of this. So, Cody, do you pull that trigger on Jalen Ramsey having that connection with Raheem Morris in Atlanta?
Yeah, man, because it brings stability to your secondary. I'm with Philip. I mean, I'm not giving up a first or a second or really even a third. But if you're telling me I can package a fourth and a fifth and you give me Jalen Ramsey and maybe a seventh, I'm not upset with that. I'll take that all day because he's, again, you know, and I've said this, you know, a lot. I'm more for proven NFL talent than I am a draft pick that you may or may not hit on. So yeah, no, I absolutely. I mean, and I'm not going to sit here and harp on Kyle Pitts. You know, I think I've done enough of that during the offseason. But I mean, if Kyle Pitts is a piece that, you know, you can move from to get him over here, I'm okay with that as well. But I know a lot of people are like, well, what about Tyler Algier? I'm not okay with Tyler Algier going anywhere. I'm not giving up players like that for Jalen Ramsey's on the back end of his.
Surprisingly, Cody, that was a subject we talked about a lot in this offseason, worrying about the fact that teams will be calling for Tyler Algier.
Right.
Knowing the Falcons draft capital situation, knowing you don't really have that third-round pick, that fourth-round pick because of Kirk Cousins. So now you look at the possibility of Tyler Algier being moved for more pieces. But it's been very quietly here lately about Tyler Algier being moved. So maybe the Falcons have completely closed the door on those talks.
Yeah, and I definitely hope that's the case because I don't want to lose that 1-2 punch of Bijan and Tyler. I mean, it's seriously become a great staple here for that Falcons offense. And I think you lose a lot if you lose Tyler Algier. And outside of, you giving me like I don't even know who I'd give up for Tyler Algier at this point, unless you were giving me, prime Tom Brady or Matt Ryan back when Matt Ryan, if you give me like 16 Ryan, yeah. But, obviously that's not going to happen. So, like I say, I definitely give up a fourth and a fifth for Jalen, no problem. And, if Kyle Pitts has got to be part of that, so be it.
Absolutely. Robert, the question goes to you, brother. Obviously, you being on the back end of the question, you've kind of heard everybody's opinions on Jalen Ramsey here in Atlanta, and this is what the podcast is for. So if you shy away from anything that we agreed on, Jalen Ramsey to Atlanta, Robert, are you pulling the trigger on that, or are you looking at maybe getting a rookie guy in here that can make it a long-lasting career here in Atlanta?
Well, Ramsey would bring a veteran presence to the secondary, which would be beneficial. And I agree with Cody. I think that if they would package a seventh round pick, and if we throw in a player or something like that, yeah, I could see giving up a fourth round for him. If the Dolphins want something a little higher, like a third or a second, we don't trade that high capital this year, maybe next year. But even then, Ramsey's he's got a few years under his belt. I don't think it'd be worth a high pick, but a fourth or a fifth, and if we get like a seventh in return for in that package with Ramsey, yeah, I'd say pull the trigger on that.
Absolutely. Falcon fans, the link has been commented in the live comment section on YouTube, Facebook, and Dirty Fanatics United on Twitch. Be sure to hit that link if you want to stop by and give your opinions and views on the topics here. Jalen Ramsey possibly to Atlanta, and also the trade, the draft scenarios, what could happen here in Atlanta Thursday night, predictions. That's what this show is about on a Friday night. Predictions for the NFL draft coming up Thursday night. Your Atlanta Falcons change their roster for sure Thursday night. Falcon fans, hit that like button, leave a comment. Hit the link if you want to stop by and give your opinions on the topics we are chatting about today. Falcon fans, let's move right on into the next one. I'll give my real quick roundup on Jalen Ramsey to Atlanta. If the Falcons were somehow able to land a Jalen Ramsey to Atlanta, because now we're talking about a guy that you're possibly going to lose even more draft picks for. Some people would say F those picks, as people have said in the future, and in the past, people have said F those picks, and teams even go by that modified, because you've seen teams do it, like the Texans, for instance, when they got C.J. Stroud and they drafted right back to get Will Anderson and traded all those picks to do so. The Falcons, when they drafted Julio Jones, traded it all to get that one player that made a dynamic statement for that franchise. So Jalen Ramsey to Atlanta. My question is, how much is Jalen Ramsey in his prime? We could pull up stats real quick. If Philip, you want to pull up Jalen Ramsey's stats since you have the double screen? If you could pull up Jalen Ramsey's 2024 career stats or season stats for that player. But what I would say is if Jalen Ramsey could somewhat relieve A.J. Terrell, because we all know the burden A.J. Terrell carries on his back, not only from the media, but from the Atlanta Falcons fan base. There are so many wishy-washy A.J. Terrell fans here in Atlanta that some love him, some hate him. Sometimes they love him, sometimes then they hate him. A.J. Terrell, to me, has been a dominant cornerback since we've drafted him. He had some flaws in college, which every player does. He came to the league. He's looked pretty good against number one receivers. The only game you could say A.J. kind of got beat was when you played the Vikings, when he went back up against Justin Jefferson. That was kind of a, welcome to the NFL moment. Even this past year when we played the Vikings, it was pretty tough as well. But to give A.J. Terrell somebody that he can lean on, which was what Justin Simmons was or supposed to be to Jesse Bates. Okay, You accommodated to Jesse Bates, so now let's accommodate to A.J. Terrell. And if you can get Jalen Ramsey here on a 4th-round draft pick trade, pull the trigger and make A.J. Terrell and Jalen Ramsey the best cornerback duo in the NFC South. Omno is in the chat with it. Omno says, let's pull that up here on the screen. Would it be nice if Kurt went to the Aints and we kicked his ass 2 times a season? It would be great. That would be the dream scenario if Kirk Cousins was traded to the Saints and they missed out on drafting Shedeur Sanders. That would be awesome for the Saints to miss out on that opportunity. Omno said, let's see. He said, and when he went against DK, but DK is just a different breed. Absolutely. DK Metcalf, a dog, a physical receiver, 6'5", 6'6", 200-pound receiver that is just straight bodying DBs all across the league. That's going to be a scary matchup. I mean, we're not a Steeler podcast here, but DK Metcalf and George Pickens, that is a physical receiver core right there, guys.
Bring that shit on. Bring it
Philip
on, man.
Philip says, bring the heat. Bring the heat. Falcon fans, hit that like button. Cody,
Standing
Robert,
10
Phillip,
toes
man,
down.
it's time to roll into the next subject, a subject that I'm pretty ready to talk about, and that's the draft. That's draft night coming up. There's been new mock drafts that have been released. Cody, Philip, Robert, there's been the latest one that the Atlanta Falcons released, a Falcon reporter himself. I would pull that up here while somebody else speaks, so just give me 1 second. But, Philip, this question goes to everybody on the platform. In the comment section, we have 6 live viewers right now. Get active. Let me know in the comment section your answer to this question. Do you sit at 15 and grab the guy that you want? Or if that guy is going by 15, do you trade out of the first round? Philip, the stage is yours. Rotate that around while I pull this article up.
That's the question, huh? That's the question. Personally, I want to sit at 15. I want to see out of the talent that's coming out this year, defensive-wise, that's in my mind. I'm thinking, okay, yeah, these are some good guys on defense that didn't matter who it is or, what name it is, just fill in the certain positions that we need, such as like everybody thinks it's going to be something like an edge. That's cool. I'm all for it. I was thinking like, I don't know, maybe like we thought from the beginning, or like what we've been thinking, like maybe a corner, or such as like a new defensive tackle. We need somebody that's going to come in and try to replay. That's a great one right there. I called that one since day one. Anyway, but like we said, we need somebody that's going to come in and try to, be another Grady. We need a young guy to come in and just be a stud like he was when he first came out. I'm looking to see what other teams do and what they got going on. But if the guys that we don't want, then I guess we have no option. Then obviously I think we have no option to, opt out and trade back, get out of the first round.
I agree with Philip on that. I'm not getting rid of. I'm not moving out of 15. I think there's too much talent right there in that area that we need. No, still can't hear you, bud. I would say still. I still think there's too much talent there sitting there. So I mean, let's look at it this way. I was gonna say still can't. I would say so. I mean, if you were sitting there at 15, I still think there's too much talent there. I say so. If like Mike Green, like guy I want Mike Green. If he's gone, you still got Malachi Starks. Okay, well, Green's gone, Starks gone. Well, you still got Walker from Georgia. That's another need that we can have. I just think there's too much there for us that improves our defense. I mean, you just have to have a run of bad luck to where you're missing out on all these guys.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Now we can hear you. But,
the twist to me about Walker is, me and Daddy was talking about it today. It's going to depend on what number he goes at, because he's linked to Carolina. He's linked to Carolina to get his ass whooped twice a year by us. So if he goes there, then that's an option gone.
Yeah, and like I say, I mean, that very
possible.
Well.
Hey, real quick, guys, I don't mean to interrupt, but Omno is going in the comment section. Omno, it sounds like you need to hit the link, brother. You might as well go ahead and hit the link.
Jump on in.
Get your phone, hit the link, and pop on up on DFU for the first time ever. And talk some
Yeah.
Falcon football.
Let's
Hit the
do it.
link, baby. We'd love to have you here on the podcast. Mike Green, Obno is definitely the safest pick, in my opinion, at 15.
Absolutely.
Robert, I kind of heard what Cody was saying there. I was having some mic difficulties. I'm not sure what happened, so I don't want to pull up that article because I think that's where I lost the mic. So, Robert, we'll go straight to you, brother. At 15, if your guy's there, obviously you're heavy. And Robert, this is a great pick, brother. If they were to select this guy at 15, I don't think any Falcon fans would be mad. Robert, if your guy is still there at 15, if this is still your guy, are you making that selection, or if he's gone, are you trading him back?
I think we stay at 15 regardless because, like Cody said, there's just way too much talent on the defensive side of the ball in the first round of this draft. I mean, this is a tailor-made thing for the Falcons to improve their defense. This doesn't happen very often. And, if, for God's sake, Terry, don't botch this, but if we draft a running back or a receiver or something like,
Hey, boy,
I think he's fired. I think he's fired draft night if that happens, Robert.
Yeah.
And he should be, and I'll be honest with you, boys, I've been sober for 26 years. That might drive me back to drinking. So,
God.
but no, I think there's too many talented players out there that can help us on the defensive side of the ball. And even if we don't go defense, I mean, there's some good offensive linemen. That's another need right there. No, I don't think we trade out. And like Philip said, I mean, unless it's just a horrible stroke of bad luck where any player that we would have our heart set on goes in those first 14 picks, I don't see us trading out.
It just looks okay. So we're going to talk about the reports that have came out in the past 2 to 3 days. The Atlanta Falcons have been heavy on Georgia Bulldogs this season, guys. I don't know if you've seen the reports, but they attended their last private workouts today, and the Atlanta Falcons followed. They're just saying the Atlanta Falcons followed this guy and this guy to their last professional workout before the NFL draft. Guys, let me remind you, they did this with Drake London. They did this with Bijan Robinson. They flew out to Seattle for Michael Penix. Falcon fans, do not be shocked if one of these guys or your selection at 15, if that pick is still there.
We can't go wrong with either one.
What?
That's the thing.
What if that's what they want you to think, though? Yeah, we've done it.
Now, let me ask you this.
What if it's a little smokescreen?
Twitter universe has been going kind of crazy about this kid, and the hype is kind of here. But then sometimes when I review him, the hype kind of comes down. I mentioned him when we came up with our top 10 board or our top 5 board here at DFU. Shamar Stewart, a guy that has been climbing the draft board, now has been selected to go number 11 to the 49ers in the latest mock draft that I just seen. Shamar Stewart at 15. Are you guys happy? Or are you like, I wish we would have went for, I don't know, Mike Green if he's still on the board.
10 toes down.
Will Johnson if he's still on the board. Or
10 toes down.
Jermaine Johnson. So who do you select? If the Falcons select Shamar Stewart at 15, are you surprised? Philip, the mic is yours. Absolutely
not. This is a guy that I've mentioned, I think, the last podcast. This is a guy that I've been watching highlights on, and, it's a guy that I can see coming in, and he's going to get the job done. Is he going to be just off the wall crazy? I don't know yet. I have to wait and see what he does, but, he just, to me personally, he just looks like he can get the job done. I'm just excited. I've watched him, just the way he maneuvers around, his hand movement, the placement. It just looks good. And he seems prepared. I've said it
Falcon
time
fans,
before.
hit the hashtag DFU in the live chat. That's all you have to do is be subscribed on YouTube and hashtag DFU in the live chat to be able to win the chance of a Wart Dunn 28 throwback jersey, courtesy of our guy Robert. Be sure to hashtag DFU to be entered for that chance to win that. Falcon fans, you do not want to miss out on that.
It's wild that we call that the throwback jersey now.
Right.
Atop a throwback jersey.
Right. Cody, your guy, obviously you wanted him, but if Shamar Stewart is the selection at 15, how are we feeling?
If Mike Green's still on the board and you take take him. I'm probably not going to be. I'm not going to be upset, but I'm also going to be. I'm going to wonder why. Like, what made the Falcons go? He's better than Green. I don't think he's as explosive.
It's just, what's so crazy to me is you haven't heard a lot of coverage of the Falcons.
Let me rephrase what I got to say. I'm not going to be pissed, but like Cody said, if we don't get Green, if we take him over Green, then I'm going to be
so
wondering
can we
a little
all
bit,
agree?
I'll be okay with it though.
Can we all agree here on the channel? Okay, in the chat, give me a 1. Okay, and you guys let me know. Chat, give me a 1 if Mike Green is your selection at 15. And you guys here, is Mike Green your favorite selection at 15?
Yeah, no, I mean, Mike Green is definitely my selection at 15. Now, if we went ahead and draft, so, for whatever reason, Malachi Starks is there and they go Malachi Starks, I'm not upset with that either. I'm still going to be wondering why we continuously ignore the biggest need that the Falcons have had for 15 years. But, at the same time, I get it. I just think Mike Green's the guy that's going to make a difference. And, Philip was saying earlier, you need a guy to replace Grady Jarrett. We've got a big hole on our defensive line that needs to be filled in. I mean, I'm not saying that the kid from Texas A&M can't do it, but I think Mike Green can. I mean, there's a reason he's coming from Marshall. So let's be honest. You wouldn't be seeing all the press and all the hype.
I seen a post the other day that said, Has Mike Green had enough of competition? And I commented and said, he made everybody at the Reese Bowl look like clowns. What more competition does he
That's just because you come from a smaller school. To me, I look at it as it is like these kids coming from like these small schools like Roddy White. These guys, they're coming out. They want it more, in my opinion. They're hungry for it. You at Georgia, it seems like you have a higher, but just because the school you're at, you're destined to go higher.
All right, real quick, guys.
Real quick,
I want you guys to keep this conversation rolling. I'm going to try to pull that article up, but for some reason, if my audio cuts back out, I'm just going to scroll so you guys can see the selections of this latest mock draft that the Falcons had just released. The Atlanta Falcons writer actually released this. So continue on speaking. I'm going to try to pull it up. If we lose audio, I'll leave studio and come back. But keep it rolling, man. Let's get it.
Yeah, the thing about the smaller school thing is ridiculous. I mean, you don't think of college football when you think of Boston College, and look at what Matt Ryan did.
Patrick Mahomes.
It's just one of those things. Is there's a reason that Mike Green's getting the attention that he's getting, regardless of which school he went to.
He's hungry. He wants
it. I mean, and that's exactly it. I just don't think. I honestly just don't think that it matters. I would say, honestly, if he was from a small school and still doing okay, he's probably not getting the attention that he's doing or that he's getting. But the fact that he's getting the attention that he is, and he's coming from Marshall, just tells you that he's got talent and he's good at what he does. So,
and it's either that or it's either he went to Marshall for academic smarts. Who knows? Yes, you need to be smart in football, but that's sports knowledge. That's not academic. I guess you could add some of that into sports knowledge, but if you go out there and do your thing, what the hell is all that going to do for you, though? I mean, that's between you and your personal life.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? We don't know, but it's a kid to me that just seems hungry, and he wants it, and he's fighting for that, and he's bulldozing anybody to get that.
Guys, I'm having problems pulling up the share screen. I don't know. Maybe I can't do that on the iPad. Can you guys still hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going on with the share screen, but I'll give you guys a rundown of the selection of the mock drafts real quick. Start from the top. Cam Ward was number 1 from Miami to Tennessee. Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter, Will Campbell, Mason Graham, Ashton Jennedy to whatever how you pronounce it, to the Raiders. The Jets get Ahmad Membo. The Panthers take edge Jalen Walker off the board in the top 10. Will Johnson goes to the New Orleans Saints at 9.
Oh, God.
Jahad Campbell goes to the Chicago Bears. That guy, Shamar Stewart, that we were speaking on at 15, is taken at 11 by the 49ers. A trade happens here with the Dallas Cowboys. The Chargers take tight end Tyler Warren. The Miami Dolphins take a cornerback, Jahad Barron. So that means they probably traded Jalen Ramsey. At 14, the Colts take a tight end, Colston Loveland from Michigan. The Falcons make a trade at 15 with the Chicago Bears for the number 39 second-round pick and the number 41 second-round pick. and the number 148 fifth-round pick. So 2 seconds and a
I'm
fifth
asleep.
off of trading a first-round pick. The receiver from Arizona or goes to Arizona territory, McClellan. That probably would have been Buddy from LSU, man. My condolences out to that family and everybody that's been impacted by that. Cincinnati at 17 takes Kevin Banks Jr., the offensive guard from Texas, the one the Falcons have been looking into. The Seahawks take Tyler Booker, offensive guard. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers take Mike Green. Falcon fans, listen to me real quick. The Saints took Will Johnson. The Panthers took Jalen Walker. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers take Mike Green at 19. That's 3 guys on our list that is gone. Matthew Golden, receiver to Denver. Shador Sanders falls to number 21, and the Steelers take him. Receiver Amaka Egbuke goes to the Dallas Cowboys. Michael Williams goes number 23 to the Green Bay Packers. Another one off our board. Guys, Malachi Stark at 24. Another one off our board. Gone. Gray Zabel to Houston. There's another trade. The Atlanta Falcons trade with the Los Angeles Rams to pick number 26, and they trade a third-round overall pick and a 41 and 46 second-round overall pick. They get edge Donovan Ezeruike, the edge from Boston College. He was a decent prospect. He's a good prospect.
I know who you're talking about now. It was just how you pronounce it.
But not a guy that was on our top 10 board, our top 5 board. Baltimore takes Josh Connerly. James Pierce Jr. goes to – James Pierce is still on the board. At 28, he goes to the Lions. Josh Simmons goes to Washington. Derek Coleman goes to Buffalo. And at 31, Kenneth Grant goes to the Chiefs. And the last selection in the first round is a safety, Nick Amorari from South Carolina, goes to the Philadelphia Eagles. Falcon fans, you are bringing in a lot of competition to the NFC South with Will Johnson, with Jalen Walker, with who else was it, guys? There was another one, Mike Green, a big selection there.
Let me talk
Tampa,
to you, Terry.
Panthers, and Saints. Falcon fans, how are you feeling draft night if you trade back and those players that you had on your top 5 board are gone?
Let me talk. Me, you, Terry, right here.
But now listen, you got 2 seconds and a third,
that.
which is a round that Terry hits in. Second round, Terry always hits second round. Philip, Cody, Robert, Mike,
Terry, me, you, right here. If you let any of them 3 land in any of them teams, on my life, I will be there in Atlanta, and I will be there to whoop your ass. Right there. And then on me.
The reality is one of those players are going to probably land at one of those spots.
I can take it, but all 3 of them, especially my top guy to my most hated team, it's on. I'm whooping his ass.
Jalen Walker to the Panthers.
That's just an ass beat 2 times a year. Be all right.
But guys, what I really took notice to in that draft is Mike Green fell to 19. Not only did Mike Green,
we traded
19,
it up.
Listen, who else fell? A guy that you went and visited twice, Michael Williams at 21 to the Green Bay Packers. So 15 may just be realistic from some of these top 5 guys that we have on our board. Do the Falcons pull the trigger? Is the question. What is the Atlanta Falcons' best player available? And that's where it lays.
I'm telling you, man. I feel like if he's there, bro, and we trade, we're stupid. We're stupid.
I would say, yeah. If it must have been a real slow day today at Flowery Branch, if that's a draft day scenario this guy came up with.
That was actually Tori McElhaney.
Oh, yeah, she must have had a slow day at Flowery Branch. I do too, but she must have had.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, the rest of your mock drafts have been, but that one, you just got to come up with something with that last one because hell, it's just a last minute thing.
But is that not an Atlanta Falcon draft scenario?
No, because we would go running back.
Yeah.
Let's say, we would take a running back before we did all that trading.
Honestly, it would be either a tight end or a wide receiver.
One thing we have seen in the past, and if anything stands true, Terry drafts best player available, and Terry never moves in the first round.
Shout out to the Hawks right now. 98 to 92. in their play-in game and at home right now.
Hawks, you got to do it, man. You got
get
to
the job
do it,
done.
Hawks.
We beat Miami for the first time in 2 years. Whoop that ass.
Got to do it, man. We got to get Trey another superstar in Atlanta. Got to make some playoff push to bring those superstars to Atlanta, and it starts with making this playoff push, man. So come on, Hawks, make this playoff, make this game, this winning game, man. It seems like every year the Hawks are in a winning game.
A play-in game.
Every season the Hawks are in that play-in game. Cody, Robert.
It's because we're bad.
Speaking back on the Atlanta Falcons, speaking back to the Falcons, as Thursday night is a very huge night, not only for the Atlanta Falcons, but for DFU that will be in the bin Friday night. DFU is
Thursday
in
night.
the bin. Well, Thursday night. We'll be there Friday as well in Atlanta. So get up with DFU.
Go to that comment right there. Go to that last comment.
Oh, man.
Shout out
Braves.
to Caleb. I'm sorry, bro, but your team's not it, man.
Shout out to the Braves, man. Chop on, man.
We're gonna be straight. They're coming back. They're gonna come back. Shout out to
Robert,
the
Cody,
cousin. They at the game tonight.
You two guys, do the Falcons? If the Falcons make that trade and they go back to the second round, can you make those selections in the second round and still be happy with maybe possibly making the playoffs with what you've done this offseason?
I think with the team currently constructed the way that it is, I mean, honestly, we were Kirk Cousins not being a total jackass away from being in the playoffs. Exactly. So I don't think that this team necessarily needs a ton of work. Maybe to get into the Super Bowl, it definitely needs some fine tuning and definitely a little more structure. But this team currently constructed, I mean, it showed that you can beat, the teams that you need to beat. You have a healthy Young Wei Koo, you probably win that Washington Redskin game. You have a Kirk Cousins that decides that isn't going to play hurt, and you let the young kid. We probably beat the Saints, and we probably beat the Broncos, and we probably, but what do they say? If and buts with cherry and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas. So it's just one of those things, man. I think you can find talent in the second, third round because, to your point, Chase, yes, Terry does hit in the second and third rounds. So if you can find like your Deion Jones and your Keanu Neals or your Grady Jarrett's that this team has been lucky to find in those later rounds, I think you'd be okay. But I mean, if Mike Green or Malachi Starks is sitting there at 15 and you trade that away, I think it's a mistake. I really do. And to Philip's point, I know Terry won't be at Mercedes-Benz that night, neither will be Arthur Blank. But I will get out of our seats and I will go find somebody that's the next highest ranking, whoever, and we're gonna have a conversation. About what the hell is going on.
It's gonna be an ass woman.
No headphones. Can't hear you, Mike.
Oh.
I'll say, yep.
Yeah, like I said, there ain't gonna be no conversation. It's gonna be, and it might be with my foot up in the
And what was that scenario that Torrey McElhaney came up with about trading back into the first round? What were we going to be giving up to get back into the first round? Because it sounds like the trade wouldn't make any sense because you're trading the picks that you just gained. You're giving them back up to get back in the first round. That makes no sense. And
can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right. So, what I wanted to tell you guys before the audio went out once again, the Atlanta Falcons have another mock draft. This is by CNN Sports. The Atlanta Falcons at number 15 select Michael Williams to take the stand at 15. Michael Williams, if that's your selection. Mike Green was still on the board as well. The Panthers went receiver. I believe the Saints went Mason Graham, and the 49ers took Will Johnson. So Mike Green was still on the board. Jalen Walker was still on the board, and also Michael Williams and Shamar Stewart. The Falcons select Michael Williams, the guy that we spoke on earlier, that also has been visited not once, not twice, but 3 times by the Atlanta Falcons, Michael Williams. So, guys, if that's your selection at 15 and it's not Mike Green and Mike Green's still out there on the board and you take Michael Williams, how are you feeling about that?
You said if we don't pick up
if you take Michael Williams at 15 and Mike Green's still on the board, how are you feeling about Michael Williams at 15?
I'm cool with it, but I'm sorry. I'd rather have Mike Green than Michael Williams because of the way I'm looking at it. Michael Williams stayed a little injured throughout college.
What's going on? Mateo, man, hit that link, brother. It's in the comment section if you want to get on here and talk some Falcon football. The link is down below. We got 20 more minutes here on the live podcast to talk with Falcon fans. Hit the link on YouTube, Facebook, wherever you're tuning in from, and get on here and talk some Falcon football draft scenarios here with DFU. But, Cody, 15, you take Michael Williams. Mike Green is still on the board. How are you feeling?
I mean, same way if you take the kid out of Texas A&M. I'm probably not upset, but I'm still wondering what again. I think it's
I'm saying Michael Williams from Georgia.
From Georgia. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I'm definitely more okay with that than I would be from the kid from A&M. Now that's obviously a little bit of my Georgia bias, just because I've seen what he can do over, obviously Green or the kid from Texas A&M whose name I refuse to butcher.
Samar
Stewart. I would say, man, sometimes when my biggest thing is when there's smoke, there's fire, guys. And sometimes I know hype can, be way out of proportion. And I know that, a lot of times the hype is overrated, but sometimes, man, you have to take a chance on players like that. So I'm not upset, but at the same time, I want to see a John Abraham back in this building and back in a Falcon uniform. And I really just feel like Mike Green's that guy, man. And so it's not disappointed, not rage quitting, not needing to talk to Terry, but still kind of like, well, he's on the board, so why are we not picking this kid? Because the hype's there, man. I feel like we've got to chase it this time.
Robert, the mic is yours, brother. If you take Michael Williams and Mike Green is still on the board, are you happy with that selection, or are you still kind of, you should have took Mike Green? Is it going to be this guy, or is it going to be this guy?
I'm not going to be disappointed with Williams. It's I agree. I would rather have a Mike Green than Michael Williams, but it makes sense from Terry's standpoint because, for one, the fan base is going to be excited because they love their Georgia Bulldogs, and I do too. If there's one advantage to it for Terry personally, it will make his seat a little bit cooler, at least for the time being. But honestly, I don't think that would be a pick that he would really miss. If he does take Williams, I think it would be a good move. But like I said, I'm with you guys. I would much rather have Mike Green, but I'm not going to be heartbroken with Williams at all.
Absolutely. Mateo in the comment section with it. Mateo, question goes to you, man. Jalen Ramsey, are you pulling the trigger on that trade, and what are you willing to get rid of for a Jalen Ramsey here in Atlanta across the field from A.J. Terrell? Falcon fans, hit that like button, leave a comment. We're at the 45-minute here on the show. We can still do a mock draft if you guys want to. I just won't be able to screen share it, but I can tell you step by step what happens. So it's up to you guys. Do you want to do that?
That sounds good to me.
I'm down with it.
All right. We'll try that out here.
I'm sorry. I'm having my own moment over here. We got 19 seconds down by 1 point.
Okay.
And it's not our ball.
Not looking good.
I'm stressed.
Mateo said, I like our receiver core, but I like our running backs. Tight end, maybe, but I think Pitts plays for a contract. It's going to be make it or break it this year for Pitts, that's for sure. Ramsey is toxic. It had to be a fifth pick or later. That's kind of what Philip and Cody went with.
But he is it isn't like a locker room cancer toxic.
But one thing's for sure, Jalen Ramsey has shown his appreciation for Raheem Morris. So I don't think maybe you would have that toxicness here.
No, like I said, though, any team that he had, it really wasn't a locker room thing unless it was – I really can't remember if he had anything with Jacksonville neither, But
the thing about that is, too, is sometimes
it's Jacksonville, though.
But, the thing about that, even if he is kind of a dick or, whatever you want to call him, toxic, cocky, whatever, sometimes you need that guy in the locker room, man. Sometimes you just need a team asshole. to get things going.
The
Sometimes, I mean, it's
Dominican
just, yeah. I mean, look at it, Dominican too, because
stomping. What's his name? Them Aaron Rodgers in the dirt.
Yeah, I mean, and it is dirty as we all think that is. Like when it happens to other teams and we see that stuff, we're always like, oh man, dirty player, awful player, can't believe he would do that.
We need
But
that.
if you're telling me that if Grady Jarrett, well, he was in the Super Bowl playing against Tom Brady, had skull stomped him into the dirt, that we're not all fucking cheering and we're all a little bit louder. Because I would have been.
I would have been too.
I mean, I would have been excited. Sometimes you've got to have that guy. It's just how it is sometimes.
And Ramsey, I mean, even though he's not as arrogant, he's like a Richard Sherman type. I mean, and Ramsey backs it up too. He's always backed it up. He's with stellar play. I mean, and like you said, Cody, I mean, he's not really, a locker room cancer, but we do need that. We need that cocky douchebag,
Yeah, exactly.
Because that lights the fire under the other guys. It's like, oh, this guy's backing it up. We'll step up our game too.
Oh yeah. Oh, believe me, yeah, you definitely have to have guys like that. I mean, like I say, I mean, just think about, especially like if it's, think about it when you're getting down, a couple points, you're down 10, you're down, 14, and next thing you know, Jalen Ramsey's just lays somebody out and stands over the top of him. Is just like, I told you if you came across and I was gonna take your head off, and I was gonna, and I did that. That fires your guys up. No, that fires up your defense. That fires up your offense, and that builds, man. And sometimes you just gotta have that.
Falcon fans, real quick, a word. Just want to give a shout out to StreamYard. Also, if you hit the referral link here, new streaming or looking to level up, check out StreamYard and get a $10 discount. There's the link in the comment section. Somebody has already hit the link because I just got the notification. So shout out to whoever did that. Mateo says the link says you have to pay $19.99. That is your basic stream platform, $19.99. That is with a $10 discount. And then you have a monthly charge of whatever you buy in at. So that's how StreamYard works. They have different platforms. Obviously, each pay plan has bigger upgrades. But that is your discount there, $10, save $10 with the discount code. StreamYard link here in the comment section if you want to look into that. There's a link for that. Shout out to everybody that hits that link. We appreciate it here at DFU. Falcon fans, hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe if you're new to the channel. We are ending up on the 50-minute mark here for episode 139 of DFU. Falcon fans, it is going to be crazy Thursday night in the bins. DFU will say a half of DFU will be in the building Thursday night doing live coverage from the Mercedes-Benz. Me, Cody, Philip, Pops is going to be there. The wife's going to be there. The kids is going to be there. It's going to be a fun time in Atlanta. Falcon fans, be sure to get at DFU if you are in the area because we'd love to get a live interview. We would love to get some coverage, some content in Atlanta with some diehard Falcon fans while we are there. So be sure to get with DFU, man. Help us out. And have a chance to be on a live podcast. We'd love to do it, and we'd love to have that interaction. Philip, Cody, Robert, it has been a great episode with you fellas. Before we get ready to get up out of here, before we give our shout-outs, if there's anything other Atlanta Falcon topic you guys want to chat about it while we are getting ready to close out, please do so. If not, appreciate everybody that tuned in. And Philip, kick it off with the shout-outs.
Shout out to God, man. Literally, this is all about him this weekend, man. Nothing else. For the kids, yes, they can have the Easter Bunny, but we need to teach them what the real true meaning of this weekend is. Shout out to him because without him, there is nothing around us, what we're doing, how we're speaking and listening, just living. Blessed to be here. Shout out to the Hawks. I hope they get it done. It's our ball, down by 2, 11 seconds left. Shout out to you boys for being here, and shout out to the team, man. It's gonna be a fun night on draft night, and my bad. Shout out to the team, man. I'm ready to see who we get, what we do Thursday night. It's gonna be fun. I'm just, whether it's not who I want or what we're gonna pick, I'm gonna be there having a good time with everybody, just soaking up the moment for my first ever draft party. So it's gonna be fun. Shout out to Cody for hooking us up. Appreciate you, dog.
Gotcha.
I need to talk to you after the show, actually, real quick. But, as always, man, rise up. A-Town now, baby.
A-Town down. Philip, you are absolutely correct, brother. No matter who the Falcons select at 15, no matter if the Falcons trade out of the first round, DFU is going to have a blast in the A, as we always do. Win or lose, draw or tie.
And I'm going to support that guy.
Yes, sir. It's going to be a fun time in Atlanta, man. I can't wait to get with the boys, link up, do some coverage.
No, even if it's Johnson.
Have some live reactions in the bins. Cody, real quick before we give your shout-outs, Mateo in the chat says, Simon Ramsey would definitely light a fire under AJ, but AJ is a team player. Taking restructured contracts matters. Still waiting for Kurt to give some money back. Sheesh. I don't think that's going to happen. Real quick, we got one more comment from Mateo who says, is Koo on the hot seat? Cody, I'm going to pass the mic directly down to you, sir. This is your topic for tonight. Is Koo on the hot seat? And give it to him 100%, brother. Let's hear it.
No, man. Koo's not on the hot seat. I think you got to have a better backup plan, and I think that's what the kid from – I really just think it's a backup just in case, because Patterson was not it. And I think the Falcons realized that once Koo, was hurt. I think Koo would be fine. I would say he's just won too many games for us to be like, hey, one bad year that we made, we marched you out there with the hip injury. I've never been a kicker, but I also know that, all your power and all that stuff, starts in the hips with the torque and all that wonderful stuff. Koo's not on the hot seat, man. I would say, but you definitely, I would say we definitely got his backup, just in case. But I think Koo's going to be fine. I've still got my Koo flag. I'm going to take my Koo jersey. I'll still be wearing it.
Tie game, boys.
Tie game in the A.
A second and
come on, Hawks.
1.3 gives us a live update on what's going on with the Hawks. Give me your shout-outs for tonight, brother. Glad you were able to stop through for episode 139, a much-needed podcast as we get ready to wrap up this off-season talk. It's finally about to be the draft. It's finally about to be training camp. Falcons get to interact with fans once again. Cody, shout-outs for tonight, brother.
Yeah, man. Shout out to y'all, man. I can't wait for Thursday night. It just feels like football's right around the corner, doesn't it?
Hey, we're staying in the A as well, yes. So it's Drink City Thursday night.
I cannot wait.
Magic City, boys.
Philip just got us copyrighted and kicked off of all platforms. So we're going to end the stream now. Shout out to Philip.
We'll have to edit that out. Let's say somehow. But no, shout out to y'all. I'm super looking forward to Thursday. I was going to say it's going to be a much needed guys' night along with the families. The wife will be there too. My wife will be there too. Definitely excited for it. Getting to hang out with the boys again. It's almost been a year, guys. I was gonna say it's been a minute. I was say not as long for me and Philip, but we definitely looking forward to that. But shout out to the team. Can't wait to see the new faces that'll or at least the new face that'll
can't wait to see
be there. Let's say hopefully we're getting to see Mike Green come in here. But other than that, man, shout out to the wife who's out there watching. Looking forward to our movie night. So before I have to go to bed for work tomorrow. But other than that, guys, rise up.
Rise up, Cody. Once again, man, glad to have you here. And not only for the show, but for the podcast as well, man. Bringing the facts, the stats, and the opinions of the Dirty Birds. Robert, shout out to you, brother, for coming through, man. All the operations you've been through, man, and still taking the time out of your day and your busy schedule to put in the work for DFU, man. We appreciate you, Robert. Glad to have you here on the podcast. Robert, shout outs for tonight, brother.
Well, shout out to you guys for letting me be a part of the greatest podcast in the world. It's always a pleasure to talk Dirty Bird football. Shout out to God himself. I mean, this is his weekend, and we can never repay him for what he gave so we could have life more abundantly. And, this weekend represents that. And shout out to our viewers, our subscribers. Thank you guys so much. Without y'all, this isn't possible. Shout out to the Falcons themselves. And boys, I wish I could be there with you Thursday night, but once we get
Robert,
that live stream going.
If the atmosphere isn't too loud, which it shouldn't be because it's only a draft party. If the atmosphere isn't too loud and you're free, we're going to try to get you on the live podcast.
If you're feeling up to it,
Y'all be surprised.
I should be all right. I should be okay. But
But we also will have
It'll
mics
be
and stuff,
loud.
so we can focus in on the mics. We've got to find them first. Chase.
Yeah, I gotta find the mics, man. I lost the mics.
Chase is
I'm
a klutz.
sorry.
He loses everything.
I'm sorry.
He's not perfect.
but
Got to do better. But we'll find them though. We got a whole week.
But yeah, just one more shout out to my family, Brianna, Peyton, Zach, and Christy. I love y'all, and as always, rise up.
Rise up, Mr. Megabiff. Glad to have you here on the podcast, man. That's one thing I can say about DFU, man. Each co-host brings a different side to the DFU. You got Rick, you got AKA Avis, you got Mr. Will and Dylan, Cody Killer, and you got Mr. Megabiff.
Check your comments
here on the podcast, man. And your boy C Money, can't forget.
Check your comments.
Can't forget C Money. The wife is in the comments. She said, I hit the mic. Just kidding. Sheesh. TikTok. We might be putting in some orders. Falcon fans, hit that like button. Glad to have everybody here in the comment section tonight. One more announcement. If you are not already entered for the chance to win this jersey, man, it's the easiest chance to win. It's probably the easiest giveaway DFU's done yet. It's a hashtag DFU, and we have had 0 entries so far for the done throwback. What are you guys doing? What are you doing? This is a throwback.
Oh, you lying. You got
Y'all
one.
ain't paying attention.
Done.
You got one right there, bro.
Real quick, man, shout out to Mateo. He says, shout out to you guys for always talking Dirty Bird ball. That's what we do, man. Tune in. Draft night live with DFU at the Bins. Live coverage with the draft party. Be sure to be there. We got 2 entries, man. Phillips don't count, but Ava says DFU. Mama in the chat with it. She says DFU, so Mama is now entered for the chance to win that. Falcon fans,
I know she ain't giving it up.
The easiest raffle giveaway.
We get OT, boys.
OT
5 minutes
for the Hawks. The winning.
Still
We
alive.
in Atlanta. We in the ATL, man. We gotta rep for the city, man. We gotta do this.
The wife with an entry. Hashtag DFU. That's 2 entries for the giveaway jersey, Falcon fans. Hey, if we win it, it's going in this podcast, bro. I'm just saying. Falcon fans, hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe if you're watching this after the live. Be sure to tune in Thursday night, DFU live from the Bins, bringing you Falcon content. Shout out to everybody that tuned in tonight. Shout out to Philip, Cody, Robert, and Rick that wasn't able to make it tonight. Shout out to his 7-year-old daughter or son, I'm not sure, birthday. Shout out to that. Happy birthday to Rick's kid. Once again, shout out to everybody that subscribed to the channel, man. We're on the road to 1K. So if you could just share the podcast with a friend, family member, whoever that you know are Falcon fans, please share the podcast. Get us out there. Tell them to hit that subscribe button, man. It helps the podcast out tremendously. A like, a comment, anything helps. And we're greatly appreciative of everybody that's got us to 491 subscribers. Shout out to God himself, if you guys stated. Happy early Easter to everybody that is part of DFU, man. We hope you have a blessed holiday. Once again, shout out to the wife. Shout out to the baby boys. And shout out to DFU, man. Shout out to whoever is going to be a future Falcon Thursday night. It's going to be a big, that's a big monumental movement for their life and becoming a millionaire on draft night. So shout out to whoever that may be. And once again, shout out to you DFU viewers, man. We could not do this podcast without you guys. It's your boys from DFU, man. We up out of here. A-Town down, rise up. Thursday night. Don't miss it. We